So the third speaker, we have Ibu Lena Larsen. We wonder if you can speak about the role of religious studies regarding religion and human rights. And what do you think Indonesian academics may contribute to the global academic study of freedom of religions or belief? But I think you showed me, you wrote down something that Pak Bob has already spoken. So yeah, please take your 7 to 10 minutes maximum time.
Okay, thank you so much for the invitation. First, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure to be here. Always coming back to this vibrant ambience and energetic research and academic society. I will go straight to my points. It's a little bit difficult because you took so many points. I said, are you going to take it all? But first I want to say something about religious studies. Because in the West, humanistic studies are under pressure. Are they relevant for society? Isn't mercantile, economic, legal, medical education more important than humanistic studies? And I would say no. It's at the core of importance for society. In the field of freedom of religion or belief, there has been a hegemony of Christian actors, and really having the upper hand of the definition of what freedom of religion or belief is. It's about the right to conversion, it's about the coming together, or practice alone or in congregation. It's about the right or to educate the children, and it's non-derogable, except in a very few cases, and that is of course very often abused. And as a Muslim in the 90s, I must say that I felt a little bit uncomfortable, because it was like Islam was pointed as the problem with regard to freedom of religion or belief. And when I started as the director of the Oslo Coalition on Freedom of Religion or Belief, I was asked under the interview, because there were many applicants, what are you going to do if you got the position? What will you bring that is new? I said, I want to bring new perspectives and new actors into the field, and that I have done. So my 7 minutes, hopefully maybe 8, 9, will be a little bit about my working experience, and that of course includes Indonesia. Also in the end of 1990s, I co-authored a small book called Dialogue with and Without Veil, and Interreligious Dialogue. So first I want to describe shortly what we learned there, because I think that interreligious dialogue should be dealt with cautiously. It is a common buzzword and should not be exploited, as is very often exploited these days. I was the part of a dialogue group between Islamic Council Norway and the contact group between with the Norwegian State Church. And the result was so promising, so I was invited together with the priest to write a book on introduction book to dialogue. And we were 2 women, and we discussed how are we going to do this? And then we decided we will have a women's dialogue, women's interreligious dialogue, and we learned a lot from it. First, It does not take place in public spaces. Secondly, have other focus than the public interreligious dialogue, because the public interreligious dialogue is very much formal around the table. One come, one meet, one eat together, and then they say bye-bye until next time. With women, it was not like that. All the prejudices came to the fore immediately. The Christians were, are you not allowed to have a dog in your house? The Muslim, one of the Muslim, her friend said, why are you going to waste the time with interreligious dialogue? What kind of interest do you have? Because there are so many more interesting and funny things to do. And so on and so on. But we baked together, we celebrated festivals together, we went to the Holy Land together, and we really learned about all the difficult aspects of interreligious dialogue. That to the end, what was the main lesson is that we are not first and foremost Christians or Muslims or anything else. We are human together. That was the lesson. And I brought that lesson with me during all my work up to date. So what has religious studies to do with it? And the promotion of freedom of religion or belief is that we study religion not as a truth. We study religion as a social phenomenon. Intertwined into society in one way or another. It's not about religion only. Belief is also one type of religion, could we say. And how do we study it? We study it by using the toolbox approach, many of us, using theology, psychology, anthropology, history, gender studies, technology, law, philosophy. We have a holistic approach, and we take the tool that we need anytime to study it, but we need to have an aim. So the way of studying religious studies in light of human rights also taught us that it's not about Article 18 in the ICCPR. It is about religion in every sense, in every aspect of society and individual's life. And by using an anthropological definition of religion as a discursive tradition, the definition presented by Talal Asad, it really shows the importance of religion in each individual's life. It provides meaning, it provides belonging, it provides direction, and also a genealogy. Where do we come from? What are our sources? What is providing? What are our hope for the future? And that will really serve us to orient us ourselves in the present. And then the main concept, of course, is always justice and not to be subject to harm. And now we are really in the field of human rights. So, what have we learned from Indonesia? We started a course in 2011 on Sharia and human rights in Malang. And we invited people, we were talking from different perspectives of religious studies, and there were religious leaders, there were women, there were academics, there were so many different participants. And this led us to really take up the contemporary challenges of Indonesian society. And with a sincerity done by academics and a sincerity in the discussion that I at least rarely find outside Indonesia. It is an approach that is spiritual, that is of high academic quality, and it's energetic and creative. And I must say, I used to say that This is my my annual trip where I get inspiration, where I learn new things, and that really serve me in my work, because it's an independent work. It is not dependent on Western scholarship. It imports Western scholarship, it see how it can be used, and then it develops on its own terms. So when we see the result coming from our friends, it is really interesting. Just 1 minute. 1 minute left. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say, I will not speak about gender now, even though that is my field of study. But I want to share with you one or two examples from not interreligious dialogue, but intra-religious dialogue, because they are really bringing up the important issues. And it started when we started a project called New Directions in Islamic Thought and Practice. And there were Christian participants as well. And during the session, we discovered that the Muslim participants had to explain so many things, or questions, to the Christian participants. So it really went, easily could have gone astray. So we decided, no, let us concentrate to have only Muslim participants, and then we go right to the important questions. And that has led to 3 publications. Now the 4th is coming. And really, we think that it could be even more important and more productive. Of course, I will not destroy the whole project of interreligious dialogue, but I want to really put my finger on the importance of intra-religious dialogue. And last example that is not Islamic. The Oslo Coalition on Freedom of Religion or Belief at the Norwegian Center for Human Rights, where I belong, we had a program for religious minorities in Georgia. Not Georgia in the US, Georgia in Eastern Europe, which is now a hotspot in regard to global politics. I thought you said Georgia. No, Georgia. What we experienced there was that every time we wanted to make a move, or the participant wanted to say something, or was setting up something, on an event, or a website, or an activity, the Christian Orthodox Church, that is the state church, was there. And they wanted to control everything. And we said, will all our efforts for minorities be in vain? Will it stop because of the church? Then we sat down and we discussed the matter, and we come up with an idea. What about inviting Christian Orthodox academics, clerics, experts for an intra-religious dialogue based upon the experience we had with this Islamic Thought project? And that we did. And we have been learning for 10 years how do Orthodox Christians think? And we have learned a lot that is also important for minorities. The canonical territory as a modern challenge, gender, sexuality and pastoral care, the Orthodox Church and democracy, and we are now in the 4th lab where they are running itself or deciding the agenda themselves. Now it is about the Orthodox Church and violence and conflict. So it goes direct into geopolitics. And when you see the creativity within, when you provide them with freedom and independence in their thinking, that is really what brings result. So I will encourage decolonization. I will encourage also self-criticism and internal religious criticism. It's to improve the society.
Thank you very much. I have